Hello again. So yesterday I made some wood stain out of black walnuts that come from a tree in my backyard, and I was actually very pleased by the results. Free wood stain. Here's what some of it looked like after it dried. Pretty nice stuff. And while it did work well as a wood stain, it didn't work quite as well as a fabric dye or leather dye as I was hoping. But also, I just kind of made too much of this stuff, and it's literally just walnuts and water, so it will go bad eventually. So today I'm just gonna screw around with it, probably ruin half the batch, but maybe come up with something new. Okay, here's the plan. What I have right now is a water-based stain. Works good, but it'll preserve and penetrate different materials better if I use a different base. So I'm gonna split this. One batch will keep as water-based, one batch will get boiled down dry. The water-based at this point is a lot more pigmented than what I tested yesterday, so I'm gonna test just that as a fabric dye. I'm gonna take a batch of that and experiment with mordants. A mordant is an agent that's gonna help the dye bond to the fabric. There's a lot of proper mordants that I could buy, but I'm just gonna see what I can do with things I have laying around. These are usually metal-based. I think the one I should use is some kind of aluminum powder, but what I've heard can work is copper or iron from rusty metal. I've got a bunch of scrap copper laying around, so I'm literally just gonna cut up bits of this and throw it in the pot. It truly might do nothing, but it'll be fun. So that's the water-based side. Those are my experiments for fabric dye. What I'm more excited about is improving the wood stain. Over here, I'm just gonna do two main tests. We're gonna soak the dried out walnut pigment in mineral spirits and in engine oil. Those each might function as a wood stain, and then for fun, maybe we'll combine them and try that too. And then I guess last thing, I'm gonna take the water and 50-50 with alcohol and try that as a wood stain as well. How much of this plan will we get to today? I do not know, but I think all of it should be possible if I start splitting this up like right now. Now I get to see the huge mess that I made last night in broad daylight. I'm gonna throw my original water-based mixture back into the pot, just so we're starting with everything at an even point. Then I'm gonna pour a good chunk of this over into this red pot. This will be the new water-based mixture tests. And I'm gonna get this simmering again. We'll save some of this strained stuff for our plain water-based control. And I'm just gonna throw a bunch of copper bits into this one, and we'll let this one simmer and this one boil off. Okay, so I have the basic just water and walnuts control, and then I've had some of this simmering with the copper to work as a mordant for probably about an hour. I don't know that I have enough to do a full t-shirt, so I'm just gonna cut little swatches off of a scrap one. Intuitively, it doesn't feel like the copper is gonna do anything, but there's some science stuff that I don't really understand. We're doing light chemistry here, I guess. Now, I only have so many stovetops here, so I kind of got to get creative. I'm just going to pull some of the copper out for the moment and then set the control mixture down in there. All right, these are both about the same temperature now. So, into the soup, my little fabric tests go. Time skip again. This has been going for about 45 minutes, and that is a very dark piece of fabric. So this is the control. So far, no real difference. That's what they look like rinsed, still mostly the same. In other news though, the wood stain mixture is almost completely dry. So I'm about ready to split this up and do 1/2 with mineral spirits, 1/2 with engine oil. Okay, back in the studio with my big old pots of slop. So all there really is to do at this point is split up my mostly dry mixture here into two pots, one for spirits and one for oil. There's a bigger jug. The only reason I'm really going with engine oil, even though it doesn't make the most sense, is because, again, it's free. Used engine oil, at least I should specify. If the walnut plus engine oil mixture is better than walnut plus water, that's definitely what I'm going to use going forward. Oh no, this is new engine oil. I know because I marked it with a smiley face on top. This stuff is definitely bad. That's black. Which, you know, if anything, will just increase the pigmentation. I don't know. Like always, I'm basing this 5 or 10% on research and 95% on just intuition. And by intuition, I mean guesswork. Now that I think about it, am I even going to be able to strain my engine oil mixture through the strainer that I have? Anyway, though, that's about 1/2 and 1/2, plus some random sticks and things from outside. Might waste a lot of good mineral spirits here, but it's for science. Should do it. And then this one will get the motor oil. That's gonna make my room smell really good. Watching myself do that just now, I have no idea if this is gonna work. But I do have a good feeling actually about motor oil as the base and then adding mineral spirits to thin it out a little bit, because this is going to be quite a thick mixture. I mean, you can see it already how syrupy that is. I'll probably put them back outside so it doesn't stink up my room too much. Oh yeah, and I'm going to put the lid on the mineral spirits so that doesn't evaporate too much. Okay, now we wait. While those are soaking, our fabric results are in and dry. And you know what? It's objectively better. So this was our result yesterday compared to regular white. It's just a very, very faint pink. And today's results are actually brown. Not a very dark brown, but definitely a color where this one just looks kind of off-white. Compared to what it was, I mean, that is definitely a dye. The unfortunate part, and probably to nobody's surprise, the copper mordant didn't seem to do anything. This was with the copper, this was without. I swear I didn't make this up. They used to use copper pots specifically for that reason. But it's probably something where, you know, you're supposed to soak it for 2 weeks and I just kind of speed ran it by boiling for an hour. The path forward for good fabric dye would be just more nuts and actually buying the aluminum powder stuff. But you know, it was fun. It was worth a shot. So what I'm gonna do now is combine these two because they are effectively the same, I think. And then I'm gonna mix in some alcohol. That's about 50-50 there. And I hope this will work as leather dye. The results with leather yesterday weren't bad, but they weren't great. It wasn't penetrating right. So I think alcohol is gonna help big time with that. So this is what we did yesterday. And when mixed with alcohol, oh, that's definitely darker. That's actually really nice. Hell yeah. Alright, so alcohol was the key there. So that's functionally a leather dye that I will actually use. So that's a win, I'll take that. I mean, minor improvement on the fabric dye, but the leather dye, huge. Anyway, the main event, the wood stain. I went ahead and strained these out. They were probably only sitting with the walnuts for 2 hours. It should be much, much longer. And unsurprisingly, on the mineral spirits side, we have just slightly yellow mineral spirits. And on the motor oil, I actually can't tell how much it took on because it was already black and just smells like motor oil. Anyhow, let's test it regardless. Here we have a big old piece of 2x4. Go mineral spirits first because I don't think this is anything. Absolutely nothing. The engine oil walnut mixture. That's like a wood stain. However, let's do a control test with just straight engine oil. Oh, I feel stupid. Well, it's unrelated to walnuts at this point, but since we're here, what if I put the mineral spirits in the engine oil? This isn't gonna spontaneously combust, is it? The thing with engine oil as stain is it just leaves oil on the top of it. It doesn't really sink in. And mixing in mineral spirits should allow it to penetrate into the wood and not leave as much of an oily finish. So like this already feels like it's set, whereas the oil, I'm just slipping on oil there. This is like usable. It's a usable version of motor oil. Looks about the same and sets a lot faster. Oh, actually, I should try the actual walnut dye with the alcohol as a wood stain too, not just as a leather stain. This might be a great option too. Feels like it's penetrating better than the purely water-based stuff from yesterday, and it is setting up faster than the water alone, which is nice. So that's valid. I'll take that too. You know, at the end of the day, I tried a bunch of crazy stuff and the only useful one was just mixing in 50-50 isopropyl. But that's how these things go. You never learn anything new if you don't try anything you don't understand yet. Anyway, now I have some extra fun materials. I'm gonna dye my boots at some point. I'm definitely using this wood stain on my next table build. I hope this was fun to watch or useful in some way, gave you some idea. I will be live tomorrow afternoon, going through a bunch of creations that y'all have posted in the Discord for build days, and opening my P.O. box if there's anything in there. But with that, that's all for today, and thank you for your time.